No Child Left Behind, Standardized Testing by Brittany Hippensteel and Nicole Logish.
Since the 1800s, standardized testing has been expanding in the United States. From the beginning, there have been many different views on standardized testing, and it has become a popular concern for most in the education profession today.
Around 1845, educators in America focused on educating the masses. This is when the first documented achievement tests were given to students. In the beginning, standardized tests were used to evaluate students on an individual level. At this time, test results were used in the wrong way by comparing children and schools.
According to Halladina and Haas, as millions of immigrants were coming to the United States in the 19th century, the standardized test became a way to ensure that all students were receiving the same standard of education. At this time, schools were basing reform on the results of these tests.
At the turn of the century, standardized tests were continually being used as a way to test the effectiveness of schools. There was more focus on the ability of students and recognizing which students were not going to succeed academically. Criticism of these standardized tests also came into play at this point in time.
According to Halladina and Haas, the drive for effectiveness turned schools away from essay tests and towards multiple choice tests. Critics and test specialists argued about the strengths and weaknesses of these two types of tests, which is an argument that continues today.
According to Pearson Education, in April 1983, the National Commission on Excellence in Education released a report called A Nation at Risk. This report led to the passing of the Improving America's Schools Act of 1994. Goals for education at this time included high standards for all children, a focus on teaching and learning, and responsibility for student performance on the teacher's part. This all led to the creation of the No Child Left Behind Act of 2001.
According to Pearson Education, with No Child Left Behind, a new era began where accountability, local control, parental involvement, and funding what works became the cornerstones of the nation's education system.
As we see in classrooms today, there is more and more controversy over the topic of No Child Left Behind and standardized testing. Teachers have been forced to teach to the test in order for their students to be able to continue on in their educational careers.
The teachers are the ones who are trying to teach to the test to meet the standards put forth by No Child Left Behind. The students are the ones truly affected by No Child Left Behind because they are the ones being educated by its restrictions and requirements. The government is the implementer and enforcer because they are the ones who will fund the schools that pass the tests.
Currently, a significant majority of the teachers are furious with this act. It has caused increased pressure, stress, and made many feel unhappy with their current state. One teacher in particular, Kathy Smith, stated that she felt that No Child Left Behind implies that we as teachers do not know how to do our jobs.
No Child Left Behind has caused many teachers to teach to the test, and in the long run, this is causing students to lack knowledge in other areas. This is also occurring because, according to Tracy Blanks, some states are no longer teaching subjects that are not covered on the test. Also, sometimes it becomes just about cheating the testing system.
Overall, the test is flawed. According to Dubel, some of those tests might not yet be good, and it is probably true that when too many students start to get a particular question right, the question is replaced. We have misused and abused standardized tests to a point where we've lost sight of the purpose of testing. Standardized tests can't possibly measure all that we value for students to know and be able to do. Due to many issues with the Act, it is being reevaluated and will hopefully be more beneficial when it is revised.
Due to the standardized test, students are being placed in incorrect classes because they either pass or fail to meet standards. This should not be the only reason for placement, nor should it be the only way the student's knowledge is evaluated.
According to Fair Test, teachers teach only what is covered on the test. Methods of teaching conform to the multiple choice format of the test. Teaching more and more resembles testing. This kind of teaching to the test leads primarily to improved test-taking skills. Increases in test scores do not necessarily mean improvement in real academic performance. By teaching only tested items by multiple choice tests, students lose the ability to think deeply and abstractly. According to Harper, a teacher says we are pushing kids to achieve, but not learn.
With each state in hope of education grant money, the immediate future of the issue of standardized testing is obvious. Teachers are going to continue to teach to the test, preparing their students for the state test. With good test scores, grant money is more likely to come their way.
According to the article, standardized testing will limit students' future. In order for states to get additional money, at least 51% of the teacher and principal evaluations must be tied to improvements in standardized test scores. This means that we can expect to see teachers teaching to the test at least 51% of the time. Teaching to the test has not been proven to change test scores on standardized tests and has caused students to lose their motivation for learning.
Because of the focus on teaching to the test, in the future we are most likely to see the continuation of the elimination of arts, social studies, science, and physical education because these topics are not covered on the test. We will unfortunately see more drills and test preparation on a daily basis.
This topic is very important to us as future teachers who will have to conform to the curriculum that will most likely follow No Child Left Behind. We need to be aware of the dangers of this program and find ways to prevent the negative effects.
There are many benefits due to No Child Left Behind. For instance, according to great school staff, my personal experience has been that in spite of the stress surrounding the state-mandated testing, without the test, many teachers would be less conscientious about addressing grade-level standards. This act has caused teachers to make sure that they are teaching age-appropriate content and staying on task. Not only has this helped with general education students' performance, but students with special needs are doing better on the test as well.
There are also problems that have surfaced due to No Child Left Behind. Unfortunately, the test assumes that all students are the same, but they are not, and they do not take this into account. Additionally, according to Bender, there has been an increase in students identified for special education services.
We personally dislike this act because of the negative effects it has had on the students and teachers. We feel that the government should not be in charge of funding our schools based off of one test. If they really want to see what our school is like, they should send representatives to evaluate the real teaching and learning that occurs.